Pix 11 Morning News at 7 starts right now.
Live from Studio 2A in Pix Plaza, this is the Pix 11 Morning News with Sukanya Krishnan and Scott Stanford.
All right, 7:34, to spank or not to spank, that has always been the question for lots of parents. In fact, there was a journal and a study done by the Journal of Family and Psychology at the University of Texas and also the University of Michigan, a 5-decade study that says that actually punishing your child has far more side effects than positive effects when your child is growing up in today's world.
Yeah, long gone are the days of spankings and groundings, but are less traditional, more creative consequences better for your children? Joining us to discuss this more is child and adolescent therapist Darby Fox, brand mom of KarenTaylorBass.com, Karen Taylor Bass, and founder of MomInTheCity.com, Kimberly Coleman. Thank you, ladies, for coming in this morning. You know, I guess the general overall question is, are the traditional punishments effective these days? You know, the spankings and the get in your rooms, are those still effective these days?
People use them, but it's not really effective. People need to think more of discipline as opposed to punishment. And I am a proponent. People mistake that with thinking, oh, you let your kids do whatever they want. By no means. I think they should have strict rules and boundaries, consequences, but that it's different than punishment.
All right, I think we need to define discipline and we need to define punishment. So, Karen, how do you define discipline and how do you define punishment?
Okay, so for me, in my household, discipline is we're not doing this, and my kids know right away that if something is done, they're going to be spanked. Punishment to me, I mean, I kind of feel like the way you use the word, people may consider punishment spanking, but for me, the lines are blurred. I believe that children need to be children and parents need to be children, and you have to set the tone, and sometimes a creative model behavior of jars or whatever. You have to be like, listen, it's not working. I'm not going to death stare you. I'm going to spank you.
Yeah, okay, Kimberly, you got to talk about that because, you know, on one hand right here, you got Karen that's talking about different sorts of consequences. Where do you stand? Because, you know what, we got Karen who says, you know what, a little, not a bad thing.
It's okay.
Well, you know what? I am not absolute. I believe that you have to tailor your discipline to your child. I have 2 different sons, and they have 2 very different personalities. Personally, I have not needed to spank.
Yeah. Do you give them the death stare?
Oh, they know the love. They know the love.
Wait, is that the stank eye death stare?
No, it's worse than the stank eye. The stank eye is something I might give you. The stank eye might be something I give everybody around the corner. But the death stare is different.
Through generations.
Yeah.
I'm a Southern woman, and we were talking earlier. Southern and Caribbean, we have similar styles, but I don't spank.
Guys, does it work if they know the consequences before the crime hits? So, like, if you do this, you know what's coming.
It's important to have the consequences and say what they are in advance. And the most important thing that parents don't do, the reason they don't work, is parents don't follow through. You have to follow through on the consequences, even if it's very hard.
But let's talk about
that's the key.
My son is 16 now.
Go ahead.
But I remember when he was in the 3rd grade, we had some issues with him. I went to the school, went to his class, did some stuff in the class in front of his classmates, and guess what? He is a model A student. We don't play that. So, you know, I know people say, oh, but my thing is the consequences. I don't want you calling me when you are 19 from cell block age. So we're going to take care of this now.
But I would always also say that it depends on the child. Like, I have one child who's very soft-hearted, so if he knows the consequences,
it depends on your
he's
child's
going to be.
personality.
But then I have one child that's a questioner. He wants to know the consequences, so he'll determine whether or not it's worth it.
Well, you came up with some interesting tips, which was grounding chore charts. You know, make them do chores if they are doing something wrong. Here's also another thing that you might want to try at home: a consequence board, a list of bad behavior and the consequences already posted. So those are the ground rules. So you can start them young, and a coin jar for bad behavior. That way, they get privileges away in terms of computers, technology, et cetera, et cetera.
You're trying to teach them to regulate themselves so that when they are 19, they know how to do it. So you want to make sure that you're giving them those guidelines early on.
Show it to them. Kids want to be kids. Parents have to parent.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to talk about that because somebody else is giving you the side eye right there.
Ladies, thank you. Great tips on creative punishments. And for your children, please download our app and click on the AM News have. All right, it's 7:39. Still ahead this morning, the rapper who said women in Jersey City are the most beautiful.
Plus this.